This is lesson 3-1, lines and angles, and we're going to go over some new definitions and symbols today. The first one that we have is parallel lines. Parallel lines are coplanar lines that do not intersect. So coplanar means they're on the same plane. Remember, a plane is just a flat surface. Coplanar lines that do not intersect. And the symbol for parallel are these two vertical lines side by side like that. So let's look at the diagram and pick out some parallel lines. We have AE, so this, the AE with a little line above it. So line AE was this vertical red line right here, is parallel to line BF. And BF is another vertical line. So they're in the same plane and they do not intersect. AE and BF are parallel. Another set of parallel lines are AD is parallel to line BC. AD is the top. AD is parallel to BC is the top right. So the top left and the top right are parallel. They're on the same plane. They do not intersect. So those are parallel lines. Anytime you have to pause the video to copy, please do so. And we also have skew lines. Skew lines are non-coplanar, so they're not in the same plane. They are not parallel and they do not intersect. So an example of skew lines, and there's no symbol for skew lines, we're just going to say line AB. AB is this blue line right here, and CG back here are skew lines. So they're not in the same plane, they're not parallel, and they're never ever going to intersect. So the two blue lines, line AB and line CG, those are called skew lines. And just to show you, line CG right here, the blue line, and line AE, those are actually parallel lines. There can be a plane that connects the front left of the box and the back right of the box. So those are parallel. To be skew, they have to not intersect, so they're going in different directions, and they're also like in different dimensions. Parallel planes. Now a plane is just a flat surface. So parallel planes are planes that do not intersect. Like the two yellow planes, the top of the box and the bottom of the box right here, they're highlighted in yellow. Those are two parallel planes. Remember to name a plane that we need at least 3 letters. Here we have 4 letters. So plane ABCD, ABCD, that's the top of the box, is parallel to plane EFGH, and that's the bottom of the box. Okay, another thing that we should remember is that a line and a plane that do not intersect are going to be parallel. So a line and a plane, so the plane, let's look at the plane at the bottom, EFGH, that's a plane. This line AB, if they do not intersect, they have to be parallel. So this line and the plane on the bottom are parallel to each other. And we're saying line, but it can also just be a line segment or a ray. Segments and rays can also be parallel or skew. They're parallel if they lie in parallel lines, and they're skew if they lie in skew lines. Now we're going to do a lot with parallel lines and a transversal. The 2 lines I have here are not parallel, but we're just going to go over the different kinds of angles that are formed. A transversal is a line that intersects 2 or more coplanar lines at distinct points. So I have 2 lines, L and M. They are coplanar. They lie in the same line. These do not happen to be parallel, but we're going to work with parallel lines a lot in this chapter. So L and M are coplanar, and this transversal T intersects them. When the transversal intersects the 2 parallel lines, there's 8, well actually these aren't parallel, there's 8 angles that are formed, and I have them numbered here. In between the 2 parallel lines, that's called the interior region, and outside of the lines are called the exterior region. Okay? Now notice that these angles that are formed, 3, 4, 5, and 6, those are going to be our interior angles because they're in the interior region. So 3, 4, 5, and 6, they lie between the 2 lines. They're interior angles. And the other ones, 1, 2, 8, and 7, those are going to be called our exterior angles. Now there are different relationships between these angles. If the lines were parallel, then there's certain facts that would be true, but for now we're just going to name those angles. Alternate interior angles. They're interior angles on opposite sides of the transversal. So interior, remember interior is the angles in the green shaded area, they're in between the lines, okay? And 4 and 6 are called alternate interior angles, and 3 and 5 are called alternate interior angles. For now we're just naming them. Then I have same side interior angles. So again, they're interior angles, but they're on the same side of the transversal. So in this case, 3 and 6, those are interior angles on the same side of the transversal. 4 and 5, those are interior angles on the same side of the transversal. So that's a second kind of angle that we have. Another kind of angle that we have are called corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are on the same side of the transversal and they're in corresponding positions, meaning they're sort of in the same spot. Let's look. An example is 1 and 5. So look back up our picture, 1 and 5. They're both above the line and they're both to the left of the transversal, so they're corresponding, they're in the same spot. 2 and 6, they're both above the line. Okay, 2 is above line L, 6 is above line M, and they're both to the right of the transversal. 4 and 8 and 3 and 7, those are called corresponding angles. They're on the same side of the transversal and in corresponding positions. And the last type of angle we have are alternate exterior angles. So our exterior angles are outside of those two lines. They're non-adjacent exterior angles on opposite sides of the transversal. So adjacent would mean they'd be next to each other. So like 7 and 8 are adjacent, but these are non-adjacent exterior angles on opposite sides of the transversal. So 1 and 7 are alternate exterior angles, and 2 and 8 are alternate exterior angles. Okay, so we got 1 and 7 and 2 and 8. Okay, so for now we're just talking about lines and transversals, and then tomorrow we'll talk about when the lines are actually parallel, but now we know the names for those angles that are formed, and we'll learn some more about what kind of angles they are if the lines are parallel. Okay, so that's it for today.